Chicago goes right by him. 5 points for the California Quakes, 4 points for the New York Enforcers.
Sean Atkinson looks like he may have hurt himself on this play, Ken. They picked up a point more than the Enforcers did, but as Denise Loden looks on to her boyfriend, concern in her face for what might be an injury.
14-9 California Quakes. Certainly a very physical game, but we honestly aren't seeing the intensity we're used to seeing early on out of the New York Enforcers. And now John the Skull Morrissey breaks out on the jam with fellow 13, Eric Slope, the recipient of the big whip. Eric Slope looking for him to get on the white pony if he gets the opportunity. Right now,
White pony, jump on it.
well, so much for the white pony. He suddenly came up a little lame, courtesy of the Skull John Morrissey. John Atkinson back the elbow to Morrissey. Morrissey trying to get around him. Again, the elbow from Atkinson. Now watch, dropping back to take on Atkinson. Here's Mark D'Amato keeping a sharp eye on the attack. D'Amato goes for a Texas Bulldog with Atkinson. Morrissey cuts off the jam. D'Amato holds on, tried to take him down, unable. 1 point for the New York Enforcers, courtesy of John the Skull Morrissey.
Where the California Quakes lost this jam, Ken, was the celebratory attitude by the white pony. As John Morrissey takes down the white pony, kind of de-saddles him. This enables him to come around to the pack and score the point.
And Hawk, I understand you've been doing your due diligence on the New York Enforcers.
Well, all of my research tells me that Rocky Bowman, now with the New York Enforcers, man, is not related. No relation to Edie Bowman of the women, for all those interested, or for all those who really care.
And right now it is the Rocky Bowman who we were just talking about, breaking free for the Enforcers. Big strong met stride for stride by Gary Lockamy. Actually, two newcomers to both their teams. Hawk, this Bowman must be a find because the Enforcers showing a lot of confidence in him, putting him out on a lot of jams.
Well, in Mark D'Amato, we saw him in the first game talking about everything but the Rustlers. You wonder if his intensity is going to pick up here with the Quakes.
And now John Atkinson breaks Rocky Bowman once again, and for the second time in this period, Bowman goes down courtesy of an attack elbow. Now Mark D'Amato trying to set up a big Texas Bulldog. Gary Lockamy shook him off the first time. Oh, back body drop from Atkinson. D'Amato returns the favor with a Texas Bulldog. I think we've got one jam penalty on both Atkinson and D'Amato. Sean Corbin keeping this one under very tight wrap.
Well, Sean Corbin is trying to keep the ensuing battle between D'Amato and Atkinson in check. So you have a battle here between Atkinson, D'Amato, and Sean Corbin, none of whom wants to let this get away from them, and all making a statement here in the first half, Ken.
And we skate 4-4 with both the respective captains in the penalty box. And you know, Hawk, the Quake women did an excellent job picking up 9 points, taking a lead. But I think if anything, you can really see the disruptive force that Sean Atkinson is playing on the Quake.
Well, not only that, but the Enforcers, as you mentioned, with Sean Corbin keeping a tight leash on everybody, this does not play the Enforcers' physical style of play. They might be in trouble, Ken.
And right now we're seeing some physical play from Eric Crope as he takes Dan Giovanni into the rail. Giovanni's getting very slow.
Get on it, white pony!
Trying to shake off the cobweb. And now back is Brian Gamble, who just labels Eric Crope. Crope doing a great job at just trying to stay on his feet. Rusty Montgomery went high, trying to catch Gamble with a butt block miss. Now he returns the favor. Nails two of the Enforcers, sends Gamble right out over the railing. We'll have to check on the scoring from slippery Sean Corbin. He gives 2 points to the California Quakes, along with a one jam penalty to Rusty Montgomery for hitting above the shoulders.
Well, they got 2 points, but now they're a man down with Rusty Montgomery going to the penalty box. And this is a wonderful opportunity for these New York Enforcers to perhaps catch up and score some points to go into halftime with a little momentum.
17-11, California Quakes. Now breaking out again. This is Anthony Santiago in blue for the Quakes, and he is battling Blaze Leone for the New York Enforcers. Leone out of Cambridge, New York. 5'4", 140, puts down Santiago. Leon, for all practical purposes right now, the only jammer out, and the enforcer's heart needs the point.
Well, you see his skating style different from many. He stays low to the ground, gets out ahead of himself, much different from Dan Giovanni, the ugliest skater in the world skating.
And Chad Vaughn back to greet Blaze Leon, and again that low center of gravity, as you can see right now, does a great job for Blaze Leon of helping him keep his balance. Leon, 3 big elbows, Hawk unable to bring him down. But take a look, Sean Atkinson sets up the skyscraper to 12 line. Vaughn and Atkinson certainly showing some teamwork there. And now Atkinson picks up Leon like a bag of dirty laundry.
And a lot of people think the New York enforcers are dirty and ought to be cleaned up. And Sean Atkinson and Mark D'Amato continue after the closing whistle for halftime. But the skyscraper to Blaze Leon, although he picked up 1 point, he may have lost the battle, Ken. And right now it's the Quakes 17, New York 12. As it's really starting to heat up, we'll be back for halftime right after this.
Atkinson and Mark D'Amato did not disappoint.
Well, for those of you who are looking for the relationship with Denise Loden to preoccupy Sean Atkinson, or the immigration nightmare with the Shalines to preoccupy Mark D'Amato, you've been sorely disappointed because, as always, these two need no reason to put all that stuff aside. You see a bulldog to Sean Atkinson. Of course, Sean Atkinson, not to be outdone, a little bit later on, brings the skyscraper to Blaze Leon. And, of course, the patented exclamation point of Sean Atkinson, a little taking out the laundry. Blaze Leon looks like a bag of dirty grass. And last but not least, the battle consummated, if you will, as Mark D'Amato, Sean Atkinson, beating on each other, going to town. These guys never need an excuse to get it on, Ken. Doesn't matter what's going on outside the track. When they get on the track, they don't like each other, and they showed it right there.
There's absolutely no question. Now, Buddy Atkinson Jr., for those of you that are wondering, yes, indeed, Sean Atkinson is Buddy's offspring. Now, there's no question, Sean pushes the envelope in the World Skating League, certainly with his physical play. Did he learn that from you?
No, I don't really think so. I think he's is an individual. But I will say one thing about this whole situation, this game. The game plan to me seems like it's to intimidate. And I mean, the enforcers are doing it and the Quakes are doing it. And this is a bang-bang game.
All right, now we have talked about the diabolical play of Mark D'Amato all throughout this WSL season. We had a psychiatrist take an in-depth look at Mark D'Amato, and what she found out, I guarantee, will shock you.
Mark D'Amato's not hard to figure out.
I'm the most dangerous man on skate.
But in recent weeks, D'Amato's menacing style has gone overboard even for him. Now Commissioner Seltzer has ordered D'Amato to undergo a psychological evaluation